In today's hyper-connected and competitive work environment, the line between professional and personal life for many of us has become increasingly blurred. Many of us find ourselves working under managers who expect too much, demanding long hours, weekend work, and even clearing emails or taking calls during holidays or vacations. While organisational pressures certainly contribute, these excessive expectations often stem from personal insecurities and psychological traits of the managers themselves. In this video, another requested by a viewer, we discuss the most common reasons behind these unreasonable demands and how to navigate them to maintain a healthier work-life balance. I'm Jo Banks. I've been a professional executive business coach for 15 years, and I'm sharing what I know. I will be completely honest here. I have been subjected to long hours cultures myself in the past. In my last permanent corporate role before I resigned and established my coaching practice 15 years ago, I would regularly work between 60 and 80 hours a week. It was relentless and I was quite broken by the end of it. So I'm very well aware of the impact of long hours cultures on our physical and mental health. I was always expected to be available, even on holiday. I remember my horrible boss telling me that I should check my emails while I'm on the beach so that they don't build up. So not only have I had personal experience of long hours cultures and excessive expectations, but it's one that I often work with my clients on within my coaching practice. So let's take a look at what's going on. Firstly, the personal drivers behind excessive expectations. Number one, learned or modeled behavior. I think this is the number one reason I see for poor behavior in managers, whatever the behavior happens to be. Managers who embody the bad behaviors of a previous manager with whom they've resonated. They might have disliked that behavior themselves, but when they got into a position of relative power, they think that that's the way that they should act. These type of managers tend to have low emotional intelligence and can be extremely bullying and destructive within an organization. Number two, insecurity and low self-esteem. Managers who struggle with insecurity and low self-esteem often tie their self-worth to their professional achievements. They may feel that their value is directly correlated with their productivity and, by extension, the productivity of their team. This fear of inadequacy drives them to impose excessive demands on their employees to validate their own competence. Number three, perfectionism. Perfectionist managers set extraordinarily high standards for themselves and their teams. This trait often stems from childhood experiences with overbearing or authoritarian parents who emphasized flawless performance. These managers may feel compelled to work excessively and expect the same level of commitment from their team, believing that anything less than perfection is unacceptable. Number four, people-pleasing tendencies. Some managers are chronic people pleasers driven by a need for approval, acceptance, and validation. They overcommit to senior leadership's demands and in turn place undue pressure on their teams. Their desire to be seen as reliable and indispensable often results in pushing their employees beyond reasonable limits. Number five, unhappy home life. An unhappy home life can also contribute to managers' unreasonable expectations and workaholic tendencies. Managers who are dissatisfied with their personal lives might immerse themselves in work as an escape. By staying constantly busy, they avoid facing their personal issues, which often result in extended work hours and expectations that their employees do the same. Number six, bullying and singling out employees. In some cases, managers may single out specific employees, subjecting them to undue pressure and excessive demands as a form of workplace bullying. This behaviour can be driven by various factors, including personal insecurities and the need to exert control or even unresolved conflicts from their childhood. Number 7, financial motivations. Business owners and managers whose personal income is directly affected by their team's or the company's overall performance often have unrealistic expectations. Let's face it, an employee with no financial stake in the business is never going to be as motivated by the company's success as the owner. So to expect them to put in the same number of hours or dedication is completely unrealistic. I often have this conversation with leaders when they discuss how their team members want to leave the office at 5 o'clock. They're often shocked by what they see as a lack of dedication. And I will point out that some people don't want more than 9 to 5, and that's quite reasonable for them to want to leave on time. Now, I don't want to be unrealistic here. There are sacrifices that we sometimes need to make to move up the ladder, and there are also times when work necessitates us to work longer hours, and I don't really believe that you can have it all. I did say at the beginning of the video about work-life balance. However, in my entire 7-year career, I have never seen anybody achieve ultimate work-life balance. However, what I do see is compromise. Sometimes work will need more focus, and sometimes our personal lives will. The impact on you of a workaholic boss. The consequences of working under a manager with unreasonable expectations are significant and multifaceted. These are the types of the things that I see really, really frequently in my coaching practice. Number 1, burnout. Constantly working long hours and sacrificing weekends and holidays can lead to burnout, a state of chronic physical and emotional exhaustion that diminishes your productivity, creativity, and overall well-being. Number 2, work-life imbalance. An incessant demand for work during personal time disrupts the delicate balance between work and life. Relationships suffer, personal interests are neglected, and mental health declines, leading to a less fulfilling life both inside and outside work. Number 3, decreased job satisfaction. Feeling undervalued and overworked erodes job satisfaction. You become disengaged, which can lead to lower performance and you wanting to leave. So that's higher turnover rates. Number 4, health issues. Stress and exhaustion resulting from excessive work can manifest in various health issues, including anxiety, depression, cardiovascular problems, sleep disorders, and a whole myriad of other things. The long-term health implications can be severe and long-lasting. Strategies for setting boundaries. I have created an entire video dedicated to setting boundaries in the workplace. I'll leave the link below. I really suggest that you go and have a look at that. But it's important to include some of it here too. Navigating the demands of a manager with unreasonable expectations requires proactive strategies to set and maintain boundaries. And here are some of my most popular practical steps. Number 1, self-reflection and clarity. Understanding your own limits and values is the first step. Reflect on what balance looks like for you and what boundaries you need to set to maintain your health and happiness. I recommend taking some quiet time and literally getting out a pad and pen or your journal, as I discuss in many of my videos, and write about what's important to you and why. Being clear about your priorities will empower you to communicate them more effectively. Number 2, communicate assertively. Effective communication is vital. Approach your manager with specific examples of how the excessive demands are impacting your well-being and productivity. Use I statements to express your feelings and needs, such as, I feel overwhelmed when I have to respond to emails over the weekend. Number 3, establish firm boundaries. Set clear, non-negotiable boundaries regarding your work hours and personal time. Inform your manager and colleagues about your availability and stick to it. For example, you might decide not to check emails after 6 p.m. or during weekends unless it's an emergency. If you think you're going to have trouble sitting down and having that kind of difficult conversation with your manager, in the next couple of weeks, I will be doing a video on how to have difficult conversations. So if you haven't done so already, please make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell so that you're alerted when I publish that video. Number 4, prioritize and delegate. Focus on high priority tasks and communicate realistic timelines to your manager. If your workload is unmanageable, discuss possible solutions such as delegating tasks or extending deadlines. Learning to say no to additional responsibilities is crucial for maintaining balance. Number 5, practice self-care. Make self-care a priority. Sadly, self-care is typically the first thing to go out of the window when we're overworked. And I always say to take care of the 5 basics. It's critical. Number 1, sleep. 2, food. 3, water. 4, exercise. 5, daylight. Without these 5 things, you will not be well, whatever the circumstances. We are animals and we need these basics to survive, let alone thrive. Number 6, seek support. Don't hesitate to seek support from trusted colleagues, friends, or family members. Experienced, solution-focused coaches like myself can provide advice, offer a listening ear, or help you brainstorm solutions to manage your manager's expectations. Building a support network is essential for maintaining your well-being. Number 7, document your work. Keep a detailed record of your tasks, hours worked, and communications. This documentation can be useful if you need to have a conversation with your manager about workload or expectations. It provides concrete evidence of your efforts and the impact of excessive demands. Number 8, focus on your accomplishments. Regularly remind yourself of your achievements and contributions. This can help counteract any feelings of inadequacy or pressure imposed by your manager. Celebrating your successes reinforces your sense of self-worth and professional competence. You also need this information for your CV or resume. Long gone are the times when it was adequate to merely regurgitate your job description on your CV or resume. In today's competitive job market, it should be jam-packed with your achievements, including as many facts and figures as you can possibly muster. Number 9, develop stress management techniques. Adopt techniques to manage stress. We know that trying to manage stress by thinking about it just doesn't work. When we're stressed, our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for critical thinking and decision-making and analysis, completely shuts down. So trying to think yourself out of stress isn't going to work. Instead, you have to do it body up by making your body feel safe. The following types of practices can really help with this. Number 1, mindfulness. 2, meditation. 3, self-hypnosis. 4, hobbies and interests. 5, breath work. 6, yoga and Pilates. And number 7, non-sleep deep rest, NSDR. These practices can help you stay calm and focused, even in high-pressure situations. Finding ways to manage stress effectively is crucial for maintaining your mental health. Number 10, plan your time off. Schedule regular breaks and vacations or holidays to recharge. It's really important to get out of our environment and go and do and see different things. Gives our brain a break. Inform your manager in advance and make arrangements to ensure your responsibilities are covered during your absence. Taking time off is essential for preventing burnout and maintaining a healthy work-life balance. Number 11, plan your exit. If you try everything I've mentioned here, or you know that none of these things will work, it could be due to what we call a values clash. In other words, your values do not match those of the company or the manager for whom you're working. This is another really common issue I see with clients who are unhappy in their jobs. If that's the case with you, I recommend leaving sooner rather than later. Finding an organisation with whom your values align is crucial. An environment where your fundamental values clash will never be the right place for you. You might just about survive, but you'll never be able to thrive. The wrap up. Working under a manager with unreasonable expectations can be overwhelming and detrimental to both your professional and personal life. By understanding the personal drivers behind these demands, such as insecurity, low self-esteem, perfectionism, people-pleasing, unhappy home life, you can better navigate your work environment. Implementing strategies and setting boundaries, communicating effectively, practicing self-care can really help protect your well-being. Ultimately, finding a manager and an organisation that aligns with your values regarding work-life balance is critical to a fulfilling and sustained career. Trust in your worth, prioritise your health and happiness, and seek out environments that respect and support your need for balance. What next? If you have any words of wisdom on this topic or any questions you'd like me to answer, please leave them in the comments section below. I love interacting with you all and really value your feedback. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. Finally, a huge thank you to everybody who stays until the very end, and thank you so much for all your support. It really does mean the world to me.